And there you go, that's all the Bronux on it. So the way we're going to do it now is with this quarter panel top is we'll just, these holes that were for the rivets, the spot weld rivets, we'll just open them up a little bit and do it from the inside on this cannet rail. But look how nice that arch looks, all done up, and it's filled that piece in there as well. Obviously this is a new panel, this is a new panel, and the floor's a new panel. And you can see it's already started bashing out that wheel there. You can see that's much better now. But that front section's got to come off anyway. And the only thing we need to do is, yes, we need a new tank strap, don't we?
Yeah.
That's missing. So in the front there, where this piece is going to go across, just where that strengthener is there, and the same on the other side where the subframe goes on, this is where the repair panel will go in. But there's a little strap for the tank which is actually not in it, so I'll get that organised. I'll hold it up. They're slightly different on these cars, whereas see this metal piece on the floor, or rubber, but the tank strap is slightly different. Some of them come across and some of them go over the top, depending on what it is, SPI or MPI or whatever. But yeah, it's looking real nice. As I say, we'll get to all this once we... Oh, there it shows the second and third layers which go through with the subframe to strengthen it. Looking good. Nice. Yeah, what I was talking about on the last video about how they've patched this up. Look at the rivet they've put in this, or two rivets. Oh, it looks like a rivet and a screw, I think. There you go. There's a couple of welds there, and there's a rivet there. They just riveted that section in. Jesus. And like I said, this piece here is metal, but on the others I think it's just a piece of rubber. But we will have to get that tank strap. I'll get that ordered up, but I can get that from Mini Spurs. So as you can see with that flange here, this is the jacking point. You can see that's 11 centimetres and these are 4 centimetres, which is exactly the same as the inside there. 11, this is 4. So as I say, what we'll do is we'll drill 5 holes across here, 3 down here, as many as we can get in, the nice big ones. So when that flange goes up against it, we can actually see it and can weld right through. So we'll end up welding that flange, the inner sill, and this flange on the other side at the same time. So we capture everything in one go, which will make it extremely strong. Not that very few people use the jacking points on them, but for getting it correct, we should put them on. Most people will jack them up from the subframes because it's the best place. Never on the body, or never on the sills, you'll crush them. So I'll put it up and I'll show you what it looks like, just holding it. Okay, so the car's on its side, so it's sorry about the weird shot. But you can see how the quarter panel's all in. Looks real nice, all the way down. And how nice the wheel arch looks now. All done, all sorted out here. Everything's done on the heel board. So now what we're going to do now is, you can see that rear valance has been taken off, or what was left of it. And then what we'll do now is we'll take this piece off, but not too much, because I need the new panel, the new boot floor repair panel to go in, so we can cut it in line with it. So what I tend to do, and me does the same, because I said to him this is the way we want to do it, is when you put the panel in, overlap it and cut through both panels. That way you'll end up with a 1 mil gap in between, and even if you go offline, that gap will still be 1 mil no matter where it is, as long as you cut it reasonably straight. So you're cutting off 2 pieces at the same time, and then you can put your interclips in there, interclips or grips, and then you can weld it in, and you end up with a really nice butt weld with enough movement or enough distance that you're not going to buckle it or warp it. But we won't take, what we'll do is take it off the flange so we can clean this flange up. And again here, you can see Hopefully he hasn't welded. No, he hasn't. See how he hasn't welded that bit in there? Because obviously we're going to put a new repair piece in here, but that flange has to come off there and this floor. So that's the next bit. But as you can see, it's coming on very, very nicely. And as you can see, the boot floor's been knocked down a bit. There's a bit here that's got to come back. But this is better now. So that bit's got to be knocked back down. And but we have all this stuff for this. What we don't have is we don't have the closing panels. This panel here, which is the overlay that we talked about. So that's actually 3 pieces. It's the main floor, then there's a base plate, and there's a top plate, and that makes up about 3 mil for the thickness of the for the rear trunnions on the rear subframe. So that's coming. Closing panels are coming, and the boot floor is coming. The valance we have, and these 2 corners, of course, as well. So that will make up the back of the car. But they won't be here till kind of mid-September. My friend Martin Reed's bringing them over when he brings his camper over, which is going to bring the parts in, which is good news, because he's going to support me at Red Bull Ring in the track mini, in the Golf Mini, at Red Bull Ring again. So this year, again, you can see that bottom one's the same. You see where the extra patches are on it. That's to actually put strength into it, where the subframe's mounted, where the trunnions are mounted to it. So you can see how nice that sill would fit. Nice in line with these drain holes. And this is what they're for. They're actually drain holes to allow any condensation out. And this is the problem with the oversills. The oversills come down to here. And then what you do is you capture all the moisture, and then it rots them out. It rots both sides out. But this is the way the sills are supposed to look onto that tab there. And you can see it's a really nice fit all the way along to the back. As I say, it's just put in place. You can see it's a really nice fit. These are just slingers that went onto the vehicle when they were made on the production line, because when they built the cars, the floor pan, the heel board, the front bulkhead, and the wings, I think, were on it at that point, and the rear floor would come along on a dolly, and would sat on these slinger points, and then the sides, the back. Oh, sorry, the 2 sides of the back and the roof were all put on in one shot. And then there were roll weld. That's how they did minis. What they did was they had a special machine that had rollers on it, and it went up here. So I'll try and get a better picture of this. So they had a machine that gripped here, and it welded it as it went up. So this is why the Mini has the seams on it, all the way on every corner. And if you de-seam a Mini, you have to basically put something inside to weld it together, because it's only them seams that are welded, not those 2 parts there. It's just on them seams. So if you de-seam a vehicle, you spend a lot of time reinforcing the A, B and C pillars, otherwise it will come apart. You can't just cut them off and stick a couple of tacks in there. You've got to weld it properly. You can see the quarter panel's all in. There's the join there. Just see the join here, and the join here, and in here. And this will obviously be cleaned up before the finished one. That's got to be filled up, that hole. We'll finish this up with lead. The only thing that's slightly out is that piece there. I'll take this down so you can see it. So you see this piece here, this gap is too big. It should be like a pencil line gap. So what we'll do is we'll lead load this and then reintroduce the gap into it. It's either this panel or this panel slightly out, but we'll make it exactly the same as it on the other side, and I'll show you the other side so you know what we're talking about. And you can see there, this is a genuine side. You can see there's just a very small, hang on, I got it in there. There you go. See, there's a very small gap there. So it goes from there down to there. So we'll recreate that in lead for the other side. just to make sure. And there we are.